Hey guys, Simeon here from the Simeon and Alex, formerly Swedish Homestead YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how you can maximize grass growth and by that maximize all the energy you can capture from the sun with your plants, and that way have a great economical impact on your homestead or farm or ranch. I'm gonna talk about what you can do and some management guidelines and principles that really apply to that. So stay tuned. So this farm that we are farm sitting for a few more weeks here in Austria has 15 head of cattle. It's a small farm, but the principles that I want to talk about, they apply to any place, any environment. And here, what we have done now, what I did this morning is I've just fenced off the cattle in a small area around the stable, around the feeder, to prevent them from walking out on the pasture where new growth is going to come now in the next weeks and months. I'm gonna go take you inside to my computer in my office, and I'm gonna show you guys just why you can easily double your pasture's production just by a few simple understandings and management guidelines. Okay guys, so I'm here where I work on my laptop, and I am going to show you guys real quick some simple management guidelines, how to grow more forage, how to maximize energy flow through the element of timing in it all. The sunlight is free, water is free in the form of precipitation, the rainfall, and we want to maximize those resources. And when we continuously graze a pasture, we overgraze a lot of plants, we have damage through trampling, because it is not the amount of animals that causes overgrazing, but it is the timing of the animals. How much time they spend on a certain place and how long the plant has to regenerate and put back energy to the roots before the animals return. Now, you can maximize the growth of grass or plants in general if you manage the time that they are exposed to by animals, and if you manage the time that they are re-exposed to by animals. And the reason why this is so significant is because grass is not growing at a constant rate, the same rate all the time, but grass grows exponentially. And I will show you what that looks like. Okay, so let's say here we have a graph, okay? And we're gonna say that here we have the mass of the plant, okay? And down here we have the time of growth, okay? Now, what we will have is that grass in the beginning, when grass is very short and small, it doesn't have many leaves, and it takes a while before it can fully capture as much sunlight as possible through a lot of leaf surface. So in the beginning, when the plant is very small, grass growth will be fairly small. But then when the plant reaches a certain stage, it has enough leaves to capture like a lot of sunlight, the roots are getting deeper, the growth starts to accelerate, and the grass really starts to grow fast. Then when the plant feels like it has grown enough and it wants to reproduce, it wants to create seed heads now, the growth slows down in terms of the mass, and it puts more energy into the leaf mass and into the seed heads, I mean. So this is basically how the growth of grass appears. Now, here is the problem with so many farmers. when they continuously graze their pasture, time for a plant to grow is shortened, and they will have their grass grazed here somewhere, or maybe even here, because the plants are overgrazed. They don't have the time to fully grow. You don't maximize the time. What if you would just wait a little bit longer? Look at now this time, let's say from here, from the beginning here, this is now the same distance. This is now the same distance from here to here and from here to here. How much more forage can grow in this time than in this time? So if you simply allow the grass to grow longer by giving it more recovery time, longer recovery periods, you can grow so much more forage. Now, this is just a principle to understand. Of course, we also need to understand that there are a lot of factors that factor into this. It's the kind of climate you are in. Do you have a growing season and a non-growing season? Is it winter or a dry season? Forage will grow at different speeds depending on the current weather conditions. How much precipitation did you get? What's the temperature? So there are a lot more things that factor into this, but the farmer, the manager, can be smart enough to just look at it and understand this principle and understand how grass grows, and then really apply that to their holistic context. Now, this is important, and I would really like to finish with this. You need to understand this and understand the ecosystem processes, understand these management guidelines, but that doesn't mean that you automatically know what to do in your case. Now, just to move the cows away on a regular basis and to try to give the grass enough recovery times, that is not holistic plant grazing. You need to factor in, how much work is that for me? Does that take away time from the quality of life I want to live, from my family, from other relationships? Is that feasible for me to move them daily or every 3 days or every week? What does that look like? When do I want the animals to be where? Okay, so when you do rotational grazing, you typically just look at the growth of the grass and maybe the performance of the livestock, but you don't factor in all the other aspects that you're also managing in your life and in your situation. So the holistic management is fundamentally different. We do understand these principles. We do understand the growth curve of grass. We do understand what overgrazing is and the timing aspect of maximizing energy flow from the sun to the plant. But we have to factor in our economy, we have to factor in our relationships, the land's health, and that's why in holistic plant grazing we say the right animals at the right time, at the right place for the right reasons with the right behavior, because that's what we want to manage. I hope that you found this interesting and helpful. I hope that you can maximize grass grown on your property because it does not require diesel, it does not require fertilizer, it does not require machinery. The sunlight and the precipitation is free, and you can take advantage of that. And this, what we just talked about today, will have a direct impact on your economy. If you want to learn more about holistic management, if you want to dive deeper into that, well, stay tuned, because tomorrow on the Sound Farmer Live podcast, we are going to be talking about what is holistic management. And I'm going to talk a lot about some misconceptions about holistic management. What we are talking about here today is certainly a little small aspect of what holistic management is or could be, but it's not holistic management by itself. Hope to see you at tomorrow's live stream. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.